Buzzsaw, what's happening, buddy?
Hey, Jared.
All right, man. We want to talk all things R&D related. Keep this pretty short and sweet on kind of the information on it, but I say R&D related, research and development tax credit. If you guys haven't watched our prior video that we did on the one big beautiful bill, just kind of unpacked, it was a lengthier video, unpacked the bigger parts of the bill that pertain to our clients. We hit on the R&D credit in that video. But really, what Buzzsaw and I wanted to do is just specifically talk about this a little more in depth on what it is, if that makes sense. So, Buzzsaw, I'll kind of throw it to you just real quick. What the heck's the R&D tax credit? We'll keep it high level here, but what's an R&D tax credit? Has it typically pertained to our clients as dental practice owners, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so if you're a dentist and you're using certain, I'll say, cutting edge technologies in your practice, you could be able to generate this R&D tax credit based upon the work you're doing inside your practice. And how a credit works is it's an actual dollar per dollar reduction in your taxes. It's better than a tax deduction. A tax credit is always better than a deduction. And so it's a way to generate these credits and reduce your tax liability if you're doing cutting edge type of work inside your practice.
Yeah, and I will say, like I'll say us specifically, right? We don't do those R&D credit. It's a study really that's done. That they ask the dental practice owner what technology are they using, how are they doing processes, that sort of thing to see, okay, yeah, you qualify for the credit, and then this is how much of a credit is able to be taken. We don't do that at our firm, right? We utilize a lot of our clients utilize the credit, but we don't do the study. Other companies will do the study, if that makes sense. So okay, that's what a credit is. That's what the R&D credit. What was the fix in the one big beautiful bill? Like what was broken that now had to be fixed, right?
Yeah. So from 22 to 24, all of those expenses on that cutting edge technology that generated that credit, you had to capitalize those and amortize them over 5 years. So you couldn't immediately take those deductions, even though it was cash out the door. You couldn't take those deductions. You had to amortize them over 5 years. So it really ended up hurting clients taking the R&D credit because they were losing roughly 80 to 90% of their R&D expenses, the ability to deduct those in that tax year. They were pushed off to future tax periods. So what this fix does is it reallows immediate expensing of those R&D expenses, not only for 2025 and going forward, but also retroactively to 2022 through 2024. It kind of fixes those 3 years where we had to do that amortization.
Yeah. So basically that 3-year period, 22, 23, 24, when I guess I'll say if you took the R&D credit, you kind of got hit a little bit. It wasn't as lucrative, if you will, because the credit is basically, and this is high level, but the credit is basically all your R&D expenses, right? Expenses incurred for the stuff required for the R&D credit comes out. That's a big amount, comes out to the credit amount, which is a lot smaller, right? And so the inability to deduct 90% of the larger amount hurts you as opposed to how much of a credit you got. So
Exactly.
yeah, so I mean, a lot of our clients, I mean, it hurt a little bit for that 2022, 2023, 2024 year. So the retroactive here on the fix, and maybe we'll hit on that a little bit. It's kind of TBD, right? But like a couple options maybe to fix it. Is that right?
Yeah, we're still hoping to get some official IRS guidance, especially for 2024 tax year. But basically, it looks like there's two different ways you could fix it. You could either go back and amend those tax returns in 2022, 2023, and maybe 24 if you've already filed 24, to go back and immediately expense those R&D expenses and get rid of the amortization. The other option, it looks like to be you can just kind of claim what you haven't amortized in 2025, and pick it up on the 2025 tax return, kind of the cost that you haven't amortized yet over the past couple of years. You can take those in 2025 and or 2026 if you wanted to spread it out over 2 years.
Yeah. So a lot of strategy around that, meaning,
Hmm.
it's not just a one option for a fix. There's a couple options, and there's revenue requirements, right, on some of this stuff. Like I know 31 million is a number here in regard to revenue, which I'll throw that out there. Most of our clients, right, are going to be below that 31 million in revenue for our dental practice owners,
Right.
is how that looks. Okay. Yeah. And then I guess moving forward for 2025, like you said, it's fixed, and this is how you fix these gap years. But moving forward, it's this permanent fix that's kind of back. Permanent until
Yeah,
something changes, right?
yeah, it's permanent and there's no amending required going forward starting in 2025. You just immediately expense those R&D expenses like you would any other expenses, and don't have to worry about amortizing those out over a 5-year period starting 2025 and going forward permanently.
Yeah, and a couple, it's the devil's in the details, right? But a couple details here that maybe we point out is, if I'm reading this right, Buzzsaw, or understanding this right, we basically, you kind of have a year to fix this, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's you've got a year from the time the bill was signed. So I read somewhere that's through July 3rd of 2026 to go back and amend previous year returns if you want to take advantage of the immediate expensing fix, I'll say, for the tax years 22 through 24.
That's right. And the other detail I'll mention, and it doesn't pertain to any of our clients, really, I don't believe, but it's the different between domestic and foreign. So like the domestic R&D expenses, that's what's eligible for the, I guess, fix immediate expensing. If it's foreign R&D expenses, those still have to be amortized out, basically. Is that right?
Mhm. Yep, correct.
Yeah, again, doesn't pertain, but we always just try to mention here. So I guess high level, this is how my brain works, right? And I think I said this in the One Beautiful Bill video we did. If you took the R&D credit for 2022, 2023, 2024, specifically, you need to begin with your CPA, right?
Yeah,
Because
now's the time to start thinking about working on amendments or figuring out, do we want to put it on 25? You kind of want to make sure, see which tax bracket you're in those years and maybe try to get those deductions in the higher tax bracket.
yeah, and if you're our clients watching this video, we're taking care of that on the tax strategy calls and everything that we're doing. But everybody else out there, radars go up. Hey, I took this credit. Get with your CPA, see how this fix is going to help you. Because if they did amortize those expenses, which they should have, this should be the ability to go back and get those deductions, if that makes sense. So I think we're a lot of details here, but we want to stay just very high level on how this works. But gives me a little clarity. And if you've never heard of the R&D expense, ask your CPA about it, right? See if you would qualify. And it doesn't pertain to everybody. I'm not going to say that at all. Not every dentist out there should utilize the R&D credit because you probably aren't eligible for it. It pertains to your facts and circumstances and what you're doing in your practice. But if you haven't heard the RD credit, talk to your CPA, see if that would be a candidate for it, and they can help you going forward. So, Buzzsaw, anything else, man, on the R&D credit? We'll keep our ears
No,
to the
I
ground
think,
on
yeah,
IRS guidance. That's the big
just
thing.
waiting. Just waiting for the IRS guidance at this point, and then we'll start, working through those amendments as needed.
Perfect. I'm all about a fix, man, especially if it helps our clients. So, Buzzsaw, I
And
appreciate you, man, and we'll be in touch soon.
all
We'll see you
right,
guys.
thanks, Jared.
See you, man.